He isolated himself so much that he grew to hate being around others. His memory grew glitchy as well. He started missing memory of minutes, hours, days, and so on. He would begin talking nonsense about things completely unrelated to conversations. He'd go off and saying things, sharks and things as he washed the dishes, hearing crickets in his pillow, and seeing ghosts outside his bedroom window. All the nonsense landed in a counselor's office. His mother grew too anxious about his mental health, so she decided it would be good for him to talk to a professional about what he was feeling. Connie walked Toby into the building, holding his hand and guiding him in. She walked him up to the front desk and began talking to the lady who sat behind it. Miss Rogers? The lady said. Yes, that's me, Connie nodded. Here we go. We're here to see Dr. Oliver. I'm here with Toby Rogers. Yes, for this way. The lady stood up and led them down the hallway. Toby looked at the framed artwork down the halls and tuned in to the sound of the lady's heels on the hard floor. She opened the door from the... Sorry, I can't read today. The door to a room with a table of 2 chairs. If we can get him to sit in here for a few minutes, I'll get the doctor. She smiled and held the door open. Toby stumbled into the room and sat down at the table. He looked over at his mother and the lady before the door slowly shut behind them. He looked around the room before he undid his tightly bandaged hand and began to bite at the bandages to unwrap his hand, but was interrupted by the door swung open. A young woman in black and white spotted dress and light blonde hair stepped in, holding a clipboard and a pen. Toby, she asked with a smile. Toby looked up at her and nodded. Nice to meet you, Toby. My name is Dr. Oliver. She put her hand out to him to shake, but hesitantly pulled away when she noticed his bandaged hands. Oh, she smiled nervously before clearing her throat and sitting in the chair across the table from him. So, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Try to answer them as honestly as possible, okay? She placed her clipboard down on the table. Toby nodded slowly and held his restrained hand on his lap. How old are you, Toby? 17, he responded quietly. She wrote that down on the paper that was clipped onto the clipboard. What's your full name? Toby Ann Rogers. What's your birthday? April 28th. Who's your immediate family? Toby paused for a minute before answering her question. My mom, my dad, and he stopped. My sister. I heard about your sister. I'm really sorry. Her expression faded into sad, pity-filled look. Toby nodded. Do you remember anything from the crash? Toby looked away from her. His mind went blank for a moment. He looked down at his lap and the surrounding. He heard a faint, ringing sound. His eyes widened and he froze in his place. Toby, the counselor asked. Toby, are you listening? Toby felt a shiver go down his spine until he froze. Once again, and slowly looked over out the little window through the door, where he saw a dark, figureless figure peering in at him. He stared, his eyes widened, and the reading grew louder and louder and louder until suddenly the loud voice of the cousin broke into his chase. Toby! She yelled. Toby jumped and fell sideways out of the chair and back up into the corner. Dr. Oliver stood up holding her clipboard to her chest, a surprised look in her eyes. Toby met her eyes again, his breath hitching as he twitched. That night, Toby laid in bed, his eyes dazing as he straightened up at whoops. Sorry. Breath as he twitched. That night, Toby. Sorry, I can't remember the words. Daisy stared straight up at the ceiling. He could feel himself begin to doze off when he heard scattering footsteps down his hallway. He sat up and looked towards the doorway. His door wide open. There was no light. Everything was lit by the luminescent blue glow of the moon through his window, leaving a cool lighting. He stood up and slowly made his way towards the doorway, when suddenly the door, which was previously wide open, slammed in his face. He gasped and fell back, his way out of breath. When he hit the ground, he began breathing heavily, his eyes open. He waited for a few seconds before getting back up on his feet. He reached out and grasped the cold door handle with his bandaged hand. It creaked open. He looked out into the dark hallway and tiptoed out of his room. The window at the end of the hallway lit up the darkness with blue moonlight.